Hello and welcome to another week of Go Ballistic here on the Scottish Sun Sport YouTube channel. I'm Jonathon, Moar, Roger Hannes here as always, and we've magically made Kris Boyd appear in the studio from his gaff. Can you believe it?
I had to pay my own parking ticket as well.
He was coming off to Glasgow to complete to the SFA anyway, so he might as well use that round to our office.
Wow. You been in this morning? You been in?
With Hampden?
Yeah.
No, I'm going there after this.
Right, better make this quick then. Of course, the big game at Hampden yesterday, Celtic beating Rangers 3-1 in the second semi-final. They'll play St Mirren, we'll talk about in a little bit after they beat Motherwell. Last time when we spoke a week ago, Brendan Rodgers was still the Celtic manager. Martin O'Neill then get parachuted in. A week later he's won an Old Firm game. Bonkers, even by Scottish football standards. But Boydie, just first of all, the game itself yesterday, before we get into all the big talking points, what do you make of it?
Well, I think once it goes to extra time, there's only going to be one winner. I think Rangers had put up a fight in the the second half with 10 men. I'm sure we'll touch on that in a minute. But I didn't think that Rangers started the game well. I know that they had a lot of praise for the Kilmarnock game and the Hibs game. Hibs more so because of the way this new setup, the three in the back, and the two kind of wing backs are making up the four in midfield. It didn't quite work for me. I thought there was huge gaps in behind that area. It was drawn the Jig out, it was drawn Cornelius out, and Celtic were able to get control in and around that area as well. They can punish teams. Saying that, Celtic didn't really create a lot. Got a lead through a fantastic header from Johnny Kenny. Really good header. Great ball in. And as soon as you get across, it doesn't matter what size you are, as long as you get across the front of your man, and it's an unbelievable flick back across. And I must say, I thought he led the line really well. Whether, we'll touch on the Martin O'Neill factor, whether the fact that, Martin giving him the nod as, I know he had scored during the week, but giving him a nod as the leading striker as such in the team, with Maeda coming back, but Maeda was moved out to the right hand side, and you've got to say it was probably a little bit of genius from Martin O'Neill, because Maeda, there's no doubt he's better from the wing, he's better from the left wing than what he is from the right wing, but Johnny Kenny, I thought gave Celtic that focal point that they were able to, a reference on the pitch. I thought he worked his socks off. Got a great header, had a chance just after that as well. Good save from Button. So I thought he led the line really well. Second half, Rangers, they might look back in the chances, and Chimic's got to score. At least one of the two chances that was created for him. The golden opportunity, I know Gassama had one in extra time, but the golden opportunity for me was Nicholas Raskins. When he goes through, it was just a case of he goes through, I'm just going to kick this. It's when you need to calm, be relaxed in front of goal. And I think Schmeichel came out and made himself big, but he could have rolled it underneath him. He just decided to hit it as hard as he possibly could. But overall, as I said, once it went to extra time, there was only going to be one winner for me.
If you effectively played 90 minutes, when you look at the half hour of extra time, and they added time at the end, you're like, the 90 minutes with 10 men. Yeah. And if you're going to be a player down in any game, it doesn't matter who you're playing, let alone Celtic at Hampden in a semi-final, you're going to struggle. I actually thought Rangers' performance was markedly better than it had been in the 0-0 at Ibrox a couple of months ago. You can see they look better under Danny Rohl. So there'll be enormous disappointment that they get knocked out by Celtic in the semi-final. There's a frustration over the 2 red card calls, but I think Danny Rohl and the Rangers fans will probably look at the performance and take a bit of positivity out of it.
Yeah, but when you say that though, the performance from the 10 men, because I thought Rangers, I said those gaps in behind, I didn't think the first half especially, I thought Rangers struggled to deal with Celtic, without Celtic being great.
We're not going to go from 0 to 100 straight away, but Danny Rohl keeps saying baby steps, and it is baby steps. I think he's still trying to find a formation. You're starting to play with 3 different positions yesterday. Giga was over at right back. There was all manner of moves in the midfield. He withdrew Diamandi and Raskin, which I thought was strange. At one stage before Rothwell went on, there was a sort of midfield three. There's no midfield. It was Iron Man, Tavernier, and Mikey Moore who came on. I thought looked okay, but he ran around a lot. There wasn't any sort of positional sense about the lad.
But that's where Rangers are right now as well, Roger. Because and by the way, I was guilty of it myself. after the game at Easter Road on Wednesday night, where Chimity got some positive headlines for a change. I mean, it was just for effort running around.
Yeah.
It's still got to be a lot better than what. And it doesn't seem as if there's any control of the ball.
Yeah, and you wonder as well, what every game, the £8 million for Chimity seems to look worse, particularly when you look at the way Celtic yesterday. Johnny Kenny, came over from Sligo for a very small fee. He's now got 3 goals in 2 games. Looks terrific. Looks as if he's getting the shirt ahead of Maida and Iheanacho when they're fit. And then Callum Osmond, who cost nothing, came off the bench and terrorised Rangers. Scored a really good goal. Looked bright. Looked alert. Looked far better than Chimity looked. And
I think we're speaking about Chimity. You can throw the nail on it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I know I think also the Mayovsky's struggling as well. I mean, that's over £20 million worth of attacking talent that is failing right now.
And Celtic have got 2 lads up front that cost them virtually nothing. And now look nailed on. I think Maida will go back to playing the left. I thought Forrest was outstanding when he came on again yesterday. I think if you go to Denmark with Maida, Kenny and Forrest quite happily.
To neck you out.
Yeah.
How damning is it on Brendan Rodgers, the fact, Johnny Kenny was barely getting a sniff under him. Callum Osmond didn't get a single minute under Brendan Rodgers. They've both come into the biggest game in the Scottish game and both made a huge impact. How damning is that? Because obviously the forward position was kind of the one that Rodgers was very focused on, wanting to strengthen during the summer. And he had these guys there and he wasn't giving them an opportunity.
We did give Johnny Kenny a new 4-year contract at the start of the
That's
season, but he
true.
wasn't playing. We wanted Iheanacho, and he knew Iheanacho from his Leicester days. To be fair to Iheanacho, there was slashes. He looked okay, when he came in. Maida, 33 goals last season. You cannot argue with that. Brendan, as a manager, doesn't often throw in young kids. He did give Colby Donaldson a bit of game time when Alistair Johnson got injured, but that was almost the exception that proves the rule. In both spells at Celtic, there was a lot of young, inexperienced players in the team. He liked to surround himself with, the Schmeichels and the Carter Vickers and the McGregors and the Iheanachos of the world. That was the way I liked to build the team. I mean, Osmond was signed on his watch. Kenny did get a 4-year deal on his watch. He was maybe just waiting for the moment. Martin has chosen the moment. And listen, it was strange. It took me back yesterday as Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney were standing in the technical area at Hampden, sending out Callum Osmond for an Old Firm debut, because I could remember Martin O'Neill sending out Sean Maloney for his debut against Rangers at Ibrox in a 3-0 win many, many moons ago.
Callum Osmond not even born when Martin O'Neill left Celtic first time around.
Yeah, he's only missed out in that European squad. He can't play Thursday either.
Yeah.
But you're right. I don't think that looks that good in Brendan Rodgers. For even the way that Celtic were, they were flat towards the end of Brendan Rodgers. The last few weeks of his under his watch, and for Martin O'Neill to come in and get a bounce so quickly, but also a bounce at players that were absolutely nowhere to be seen. That's what you've got to look at as well. And for whatever reason, Martin's been able to do that. I think and we're all guilty of it. I think sometimes when you feel as if people are over the hill, and there's no doubt that Martin would have fell into that category. But there's one thing that you can't dismiss as experience. But not only that, man management, being able to deal with people, put an arm around them and make them feel 10 foot tall. And I think when you look at listen to a lot of the ex-Celtic players, that's what Martin was very good at, and that's probably what this group is needing.
I think it was a masterstroke, but I really do. I mean, if you said to me when we did this show last Monday, Brendan's going to quit and Martin O'Neill's going back in, and you wouldn't have believed it. But when you actually think about it, it was exactly what Celtic needed. The whole place was low anyway after those defeats to Dundee and Hearts. It was low when the manager goes, as it always is. They needed somebody just to lift the mood. He can't quite decide, Martin, whether he wants this job or he doesn't want the job, or he wants the job or he doesn't want the job. But him being there and winning a couple of games also buys the board a wee bit of time to target the guys they want to speak to. It buys him a wee bit. He'll take the team to Denmark. Now he's reunited with his passport. He'll take the team to Denmark on Thursday. They'll get Kelly. They've got Kelly on Sunday. And then there's the international day.
If it was a Martin O'Neill of old, he'd have just went and get his passport and got them in Denmark. No point coming back up the road.
There you go. They'll decide during the international break whether it's a new guy coming in and shaking the whole thing up. I actually wouldn't rule out them saying to Martin, take it to the end of the season.
You think?
I wouldn't rule out. I I wouldn't rule that out. I think a lot depends. You saw the difficulty Rangers had. Stevie Gerrard spoke at the weekend for the first time. The difficulty Rangers had getting somebody to talk to Gerrard, he didn't take it. To talk to Kevin Muskie, he didn't take it. Danny Rohl backed out, then Danny Rohl was back in. Lots of things can happen when you're pursuing a manager. I think Celtic will look maybe at 6 or 8 guys, speak to them, see what they think. But the fallback option, if they don't get who they want, say they have to wait to somebody who's in a job and can't come to next summer. I don't think there are any qualms at keeping Martin and Sean there at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was. The thing is, they were decisive, and Rodgers gone, Anil in. You look at the recruitment behind the scenes as well. Obviously, John Kennedy was moved on, which I felt as if the way that was handled wasn't great. But Sean Maloney's obviously gone, Matt Foran's gone, Steve McManus has been moved up, Gavin Strachan's still there. So there was enough in there where you felt as if they were already. There was a couple of them, a few of them already in the building. Fozzie's come in, he'll probably give it a lift as well with his.
It's strange they're getting a wee lift. Auston Trusty's suddenly in and playing better. Arnie Engels is back in the team and playing better. I thought they got a shift out of both fullbacks, Ralston and Sarachi, who aren't really first choice fullbacks. If you're picking the first choice Celtic team, it's Johnson and Tierney. I thought those guys come in and did their job. Trusty wouldn't be in your first choice back four with Carter Riggers. He played well yesterday. Whether he should have played the second half's a vote of contention among many.
I don't think it is.
But he did the job.
He shouldn't have.
Well, that leads us nicely on, I think, to the Boyd. I think the moment you've been waiting for before you go to Hampden, as discussed. Several big decisions from Nick Walsh in that game. Taylor Asgard getting a red card, 38 minutes, that high challenge in Ralston. Auston Trusty, that instant with Jack Butland just before half time. Yellow card, no VAR intervention in that one. And then the penalty decision towards the end. So I don't know if you want to take each one or if you just want to give an opinion on all of them. Just whatever.
The Theo Asgard one for me is a red card. Listen, I know his eyes are focused on the ball. He does get a touch on it, but you can't. The connection in that area as such is always going to lead to a red card. Did it endanger the safety of opponent? Yeah, it did. So that one was always going to be a red card for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that. I was at the game, I saw it. As soon as you see it live, you think he's in bother. He's given Nick Walsh a decision to make, and it's a red card. And when you see it again, you can't argue. You can't argue with the decision. The one you can see at the back page of our paper, the one that is causing controversy is the Auston Trusty one just before half time. You can't compare the two. They're different challenges completely. It's like trying to compare Asgard with the Maeda one in the second half, and there's not the same force. So Maeda gets a booking. That's a red card for me. He's not going to win the ball. Jack Butland's got the ball. I heard somebody saying last night, he was going in case it was a rebound. There was no rebound. And I think the most damning thing for me is he sort of dangles a foot out. There's no need for the foot to be there. I was surprised at the time that he didn't get a red card, and having seen it a few times since, I haven't really changed my mind.
Yeah, people will say about the force. I mean, as soon as I always look at the face area and think you've got to look at it totally different from anywhere else. And I think that Jack Butland, as you say, has got the ball. Trusty's foot is on the floor when Jack Butland gets the ball. And then all of a sudden it's lifted, and it's just like, and he knew himself. It was a rush up into the head, and then as soon as it happened, it was like, oh no, I'm in trouble here. And he knew he was in trouble. I cannot for the life of me understand why he wasn't sent off. You could say the force. It was still violent conduct. It's interesting when you go back. But the thing is, Roger, you go back to you can speak about the inconsistency of officials. But if you go back to Dundee United with Nick Walsh, with Diamande, with this supposed slap in the face, he hardly touched him, and he went and had another look at that one. So he then deemed this one a yellow card. Was baffling.
Well, you see it first time, and you can almost understand. Right, Nick Walsh sees it. Rangers are asking for clarification. I'll give them clarification. Nick Walsh didn't think it was a red card. It's as simple as that. But it then goes to VAR. I was surprised the VAR backed it up, because how many times do you see VARs intervening for lesser things, for silly things, and guys go to monitors? There was none of that. I was really surprised. And Wally Collum does his show with Gordon Duncan, the VAR review show. I'll be fascinated to hear what Willie Collum makes of that decision. Because for me, it is endangering an opponent.
100%.
It's a red card offence. We talk about Rangers having to play 90 minutes with 10 men, a man less. That was only about 7 or 8 minutes after Asgard's red card. It would have completely changed the face of the semi-final.
Yeah, and I think that there is other contentious decisions within that as well. And I know the Tony Ralston one will come to with the handball as well. But the foul after foul after foul from especially Ralston and Maeda was incredible. Cornelius' tackle as well. I mean, there's no doubt he does get a nick on the ball to start out, and the follow through. You could have. I mean, that was borderline for me as well. But I think it's not above the ankle. I think it's on the ankle or below it. Just the impact comes. So I mean, if a red card was given, could you have complained? Yeah, I think you would have. I think you would have. So I was not. I didn't think at the time that the VAR would intervene with that. But I mean, the Tony Ralston one, and I know that it's not a yellow card because the rules changed on that. A couple of years ago. There was one last night.
VAR can't intervene, I don't think, for yellow cards.
No. I'm talking about the penalty kick, but the fact that he throws himself to the ball. I mean, his arms are tucked in, but he throws himself to the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a similar incident with.
Nowadays, it's always going to be
100%. If you go back to, remember the Premier League, the opening game of the season with Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
With Leeds and Everton, it was the exact same. His hand was in, but that lean towards the ball. Ralston does fall on the ball.
I thought the one, it's a strange one, when Ralston blocked off the Rangers player just right down in front of the dugouts. I thought, he's going to give a free kick, and it's a second yellow because he blocked him off, and then just wave play on. That was the one that sort of struck me more than the penalty. I never really thought he was going to get a second yellow card for the penalty. You see a few of these handballs.
Well, there was one last night. I don't know if you've seen it. Milan Roma last night.
No.
Boy is a free kick. He stands up, penalty kick. Dybala ends up missing it, but it was the exact same. He'd already been
injuring himself and missing the Rangers game.
Rangers game. So no, it was never. I mean, that rule changed in terms of being penalised.
I don't think Nicky can get one for the handball.
No, but I mean, as I said, that continuous film from Ralston and Maeda was.
I wouldn't have said, but I don't think Maeda came into the category of getting a red card. But I did. The coming together, I did. I think he maybe got away with one there.
Just on the handball, obviously, I think an argument maybe in defence of Ralston was that his arm was still tucked in. Maybe that'd be a natural position when he's in that position, but surely that's then negated the fact he's chucked himself. So he's not in a natural position in the first place. It's always going to be a penalty. So Celtic obviously moving on to the cup final, will play St Mirren. That game's going to be on the Sunday, 14th of December. Isn't it interesting? So we've done online today, as that now clashes. Rangers Hibs on the same day, so you'd be expecting that to be moved, wouldn't you? Both teams playing at the same time in the same city.
Confirmed at 3:30 at Hampden. I would think the ticket split. You would think Celtic would be 30,000 tickets for the final. You would imagine. I can't imagine Police Scotland wanting 30,000 Celtic fans and 50,000 Rangers fans at the south side of Glasgow in the transport system on a Sunday afternoon together. Rangers Hibs is currently 3 o'clock. I know the SPFL are looking at the matter. They'll be consulting all the authorities, Police Scotland included. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Rangers became a 12 o'clock.
You would think so. So you can move to the Monday.
Again, that's a possibility, isn't it?
I mean, even 12 o'clock. I don't think you can kick a game off at 12 o'clock because I mean that's going to finish.
Yeah.
When Celtic are, so I can't. I think we're going to have to look at another day.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't think it can kick off at on the same day. I wouldn't be surprised if it was moved to the Monday night game.
We'll see. That's for the SPFL to decide. What we do know, as Roger said, the cup final will be the Sunday and it will be the 3:30 kick-off. Celtic v St Mirren. St Mirren getting there after a brilliant win for them, 4-1 against Motherwell Saturday night. Their first final in 12 years when they won it, obviously, in the League Cup.
Incredible. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was flying back up the road, and I got off the plane. I had 14 missed calls from Robert Grieve. I just want to talk about it.
So I take you on the phone.
Bum.
It was a great. You knew it was going to go one way or the other, Jonathan. Either Motherwell with a lovely classic football, we're going to use the full expanse of Hampden and play St Mirren off the park, or St Mirren were going to set about them, and that's what they did. Alec Gogic, sensational at centre back. He'll never play a better game. Killian Phillips led the press in the middle of the park, outstanding. If he'd scored that one at the end, it came back off the bar, he could have retired. And Big Mandarin up top was terrific. His 2 goals, Dan Lindelof, I saw him at Tannadice week before. I thought this guy looks a good signing. What a finish for the second goal it was, and they just got on top of Motherwell and didn't let them breathe, and they deserve a place in the final. First Celtic St Mirren major cup final in 100 seasons.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Who get your man of the match in your report that day?
Man of the match was James Howison for his second goal and a 2-0 St Mirren win.
I wonder if my big mate will open the curtains to watch St Mirren play in the final.
Well, you have to, because you want to watch Celtic. You want to watch Martin O'Neill. He's all
that comment has matured well, hasn't it?
It still rankles Stephen Robinson. He doesn't like it.
And I can understand why. Because I tell you what, for I think he's the only manager 3 seasons in a row to get a team the top 6 out with the Old Firm.
I think at the minute, yeah, and that's his third cup final. He took Motherwell to 2 cup finals.
Incredible.
He's now taken.
And he loses players after every transfer window. He loses his best players.
Lasagna went to the MLS towards the tail end of last season.
He continues to get the best out of.
Boyd Munch was another one. Who went.
I mean, we sat here. Well, I said I fancied Motherwell to win it, as you say, because I thought that they got the ball down and been able to play through St Mirren. But you've got to. I mean, the setup from St Mirren was incredible. And he allowed them to come and then hit on the counter attack. But not only that as well, they had full belief in what they were doing. Yeah. Because usually when you see counter attack teams that are sitting off, they might get 1 or 2 bodies. St Mirren, it was an animal.
They won't change for the final. They won't. Sometimes you'd see an Old Firm team against a provincial team. The provincial team comes and parks the bus. But with none of that from St Mirren, St Mirren will just go out and play the way St Mirren.
Can they win?
Yeah, they can win. I mean, Celtic will be overwhelming favourites, and they should be in a cup final. History tells you Celtic usually win these games, but St Mirren will go with a chance. Stephen Robinson will have them believing they've got a chance. I think it'll be a good final.
Bit of controversy with the first goal there as well. Also, the ball rolling, moving, but obviously not one that VAR can really do much about. And of course, the corner came in after. I suppose you could say that has to be defended as well.
It's not the same APP, is it? That attacking phase of play. I don't think VAR can pull it back. I can understand why they're getting annoyed. They lost 4-1 in a semi-final. Yeah. Huge frustration and disappointment, but it's not the biggest controversy of the weekend, I wouldn't have said, Jonathan.
Certainly not. Now on league business, Hearts and league action at the weekend, obviously dropping points in midweek, but now 9 points clear after winning at the weekend. Claudio Braga, the man of the moment, benched, not even the starting lineup. In comes Pierre Landry Cabore, gets a double and a 4-0 win for Hearts against Dundee. Jambos need to find a song for him, do you think?
Well,
pretty quickly.
We can find a song, but that Claudio Bravo one will never get beat. Braga even. I'll never get beat.
Gives them a rendition of it.
No, I need to learn the words to that one.
No problem.
I'll learn the words to that one a bit
next week.
I'm telling you. Oh, what a tune. Over 6 million views, that. Not even. Incredible, huh? But I think that shows you, in terms of Hearts, when everybody's speaking about the front 3 and the way they went about it, for them to make changes, to come in, even Spittle coming back into the team as well, Millen going back to left back, Steinweiger, he came in for Halkett as well. Yeah. So for Derek to make so many changes and still get a really, really positive result, the Wednesday night, when you look at it, it might end up being a good point. I think sometimes when you look at Rangers Celtic, maybe in years gone by, when you look and you think that was good to pick up a point there, it was a good point to get there. That might be a point that Hearts will look back in a few weeks and say, you know what, because they were lucky as well. Because let's be realistic, the decision. We've not spoken about Wednesday night's game, but the decision to chop off the St Mirren goal and make it 3-1 was incredible. Yeah. Honestly, how did that get chopped off? That show that Willie does it might take some time. This Gordon might get paid double.
Oh, surely not.
It's got enough work.
As long as he doesn't wear the same as Willie did before. The week in D4 now with those changes. Shanklin sent them going. Lon Shanklin back in the Scotland squad today at the expense of Kieran Bowie. They'll get Dundee United at home at 3 o'clock on Sunday. But by the time Celtic kick off, they could effectively be 12 points clear of Celtic. I mean, it's ridiculous when you think about it. But they deserve to be there. I mean, they've been outstanding. The signings have been outstanding. Derek's management has been outstanding, and they just keep it rolling. And if they can get past Dundee United, you're suddenly into an international break. You could be sitting, minimum 9 points clear going into that November international break.
Did you always like having the points on the board in that sort of scenario, Boyd, instead of being, one of the chasing teams trying to make up the ground?
100%. Yeah, I mean, because you're still at risk of drop points. I mean, you'd rather have them on the board, sitting in the house watching the closest rivals play. I mean, there's a lot I like about Hearts. I mean, even if they don't go and win the league, I think from where they were to where they are now will stand them in good stead for the next few seasons. I think there's been a belief within the group that even if you add another couple of bits of quality in January, they can kick on. And if they don't win it, you can rest assured Tony Bloom will go again in the summer. He's not here just for one season. If I don't win it, then I'm out of here again. He's going to build something. And the Hearts fans have got on board with it. The place is absolutely buzzing. You only need to look at... Listen, Hearts always travel in their numbers anyway, but the crowds are taken to away grounds as well is going to be good for the league, even for the other teams with their away fans. So listen, I think there's a lot to be positive. There's a lot for Hearts fans to be optimistic about. There's a lot of positivity around the place, and that's only going to grow.
Makes you wonder, Boyd, about Jimmy Tilling's 3-year plan at Aberdeen. Dale's done it in 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be interested to see what happens now. Which director of football, the new boys coming at Aberdeen?
Yeah, so stole the Penguin.
Yeah. So I mean, you look at.
Sorry.
You look at. I'm not sure because Aberdeen have backed Jimmy Tilleen to the hilt that they want to be seen as removing them now. But now there's someone else in the mix now who might look at it and say, this isn't working. And it's not going to be the owner that's taking the...
October form table number 2nd behind Hearts.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, as I said, three wins, and I get it, back-to-back games, and obviously went to Rugby Park and won as well. I totally get that, but I mean, I think we're all like Aberdeen are a million miles away from where they need to be. Where the money they've spent, I mean, it's the highest, and it will be the highest wage bill ever at Pittodrie. It's going to be the biggest squad ever at Pittodrie, and there's signs. Even the Aberdeen fans, I think last Sunday against Hibs, those are the games you're going to be winning. Dundee, they expect. What was the other one they won? Good result in Paisley. Good result at Rugby Park. But as I said, I don't think they were great. But the Dundee one, you'd expect them to win. The Hibs one was a big one for me.
Aberdeen a million miles away from where they want to be. A team that's well ahead of where they thought they might be is Falkirk. Another great win for Saturday. 3-1 over your old club Killie, Boyd. I think it's just worth a word in the job Falkirk and John McGlynn are doing this season. They're up to 5th, levelling points with Hibs and Rangers. Only Hearts and Celtic have won more games than them this season. They must be exceeding expectations.
They were terrific. The 3 lads behind the front, Calvin Miller, who all knows a good player through the ranks at Celtic. Ethan Williams on loan from Manchester United, Kyrell Wilson on loan from Swansea. The 3 of them, Kamara just couldn't cope. It was 3-0 at half time, it could have been 6-0 at half time. Stuart Kettle said it's the worst 45 minutes he's been involved in his career. He came back out. Tyrese John Jules, who I actually thought looked okay, boy. Next Arsenal, he came on. He could have something. He could have something to offer. He got his goal and might have had another one.
Yeah.
But by that stage, it was one of those games. It was so one-sided at the first half. They should just have stopped it. Good goal. In the second half, Falkirk played away. Kelly got a goal. Nobody was that bothered. You knew the game was done. But John McGlynn has done an exceptional job. And
no surprise though. I mean, I think
7,500 Falkirk fans here at the weekend would testify to that.
Yeah, I think they've had an identity about them now for a number of years. They've been able to continue that. Whether they can sustain it in the top flight will be, another question. But there is no doubt they started well. But I tell you what, that's 4 in a row for Kelly defeats now.
Go to Celtic Park.
Get into a national break. Injuries as well. Yeah. Max Stryk is we all hope he recovers. Yeah. But I mean that's a huge miss. Yeah. Mayo missing as well, best huge. So there is injuries within that Kilmarnock side, but 4 in a row is the pressure's on. As you say, going to Celtic Park now.
It could be 5. Falkirk are levelling points with Hibs and Rangers now. They've done so well. I wondered about them defensively. They've had a few defensive injuries, but didn't seem any problem. And the goalies in the Scotland squad, Scott Bain called up along with Craig Gordon and Liam Kelly today. Angus Gunn done his knee ligaments, he'll be out for a period of time. So international recognition for the Bairns.
Hibs as well. You'll be gutted to draw that. we conceded, what was the last minute goal as well?
The penalty, handball, Kerry penalty.
Good penalty. But they'll be disappointed because you felt as if they'd have been looking to try and kick on.
I saw them a couple of weeks ago when they beat Livy 4-0 at Easter Road, and Jamie McGrath scores after, was it 20 seconds? You think, they'll just kick on and win this game, and they didn't.
You mentioned the Scotland squad there, those goalkeepers. Obviously, still a wee bit until we get to that game. Plenty of club business to handle, European games and the league games that you've mentioned at the weekend. But Scott Bain, Liam Kelly, Craig Gordon, 3 goalkeepers in with Angus gone out. What on earth does Steve Clark do? Who does he play?
Craig Gordon.
42 years of age, I think he's 43 in Hogmanay. Didn't go to the Euros last summer, was left out of the squad at the last minute by Steve. But he's got 81 caps. He's got 25 years of experience. I think Liam Kelly's only had 1 cap. Scott Bain's not been involved since Alec McLeish was the manager 6 years ago.
Who was that? Kazakhstan? Was it? Did they play? Was it Iceland? Was it Iceland after that? No.
I can't remember.
We'll check that later.
I think it might be Cyprus. I'm going to check.
Was it Cyprus?
Martin Nolte was involved.
Yeah.
After Kazakhstan, I remember that. Craig Gordon played. The squad's interesting. Billy Gilmore injured at the weekend with Napoli. Steve Clark says he believes he will be fit to go. He hasn't actually started many of the games recently. It's been sort of Lewis Ferguson in there, Ryan Christie's been in there, McGinn, McTominay, etc. Be good if Gilmore was fit, and he really can't take too many more injuries. I don't think. Ross McCrory of Bristol City added to the squad with Max Johnson being out. Josh Doig's in the squad as well, so he's got plenty of cover in there, but he won't want to lose any more because these 2 games are as crucial as any you can remember.
Well, I think we better wrap up there to let you get to Hampden, and you've got your parking.
Can we just clear something up? I ain't going anywhere near Hampden
yet.
But that's us done for the day.
Enough people facing bans
Don't forget to keep across the YouTube channel. Plenty of great content all through the week. Look out for Set Piece on Wednesday, 1-on-1 through the month as well. And we'll be back here and go ballistic next Monday. Whether or not Boydie's actually in here or not remains to be seen. We'll see. Magic.
Well done, mate.
Lovely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.